2023 is going to be an amazing year for games. And the first 6 months alone are packed with an insane amount of quality releases, from heavy-hitting big-budget games to really beautiful and creative indie titles. There's a good taste of everything for just about everyone. In this video, I want to highlight the ones that have caught my attention, but I'm hoping along the way I can shine some light on some titles you may not have known are releasing. Trust me, there's a lot that could be easily overlooked. So sit back and take a look with me as I go through some of the games I have the most interest for this year. First up, One Piece Odyssey. One Piece Odyssey is a new turn-based JRPG set in the world of the popular anime. It translates the unique art style to 3D and it looks great in my opinion. To mix up the traditional combat formula of turn-based combat, separate battles can take place at the same time and you have to manage both. I think this game could be a great gateway for people to get into the series that haven't yet. One Piece Odyssey will be getting a demo on January 10th, just a couple days before its full release on the 13th. We've all been hearing a lot about this one, especially since the release of the demo a few weeks back. You can check out my impressions of that here. Forspoken is an open-world game with RPG elements, has some flashy combat, and hopefully a good story to carry you along for the ride. I'll be keeping a close eye on this once it's out. I want to see what players think once it's in their hands before I consider a purchase. Forspoken is out on January 24th. I have never played Dead Space, so this one has me excited, but also terrified. It's a franchise I've always wanted to try out but never got around to. Other than visual enhancements, there will also be new content such as new areas and side quests. The most interesting being a system called the AI Director that will apparently mix up stuff to keep the player on edge by spawning enemies in already cleared areas, among other things like random sounds and flickering lights. Dead Space Remake comes out January 27th. First announced back in 2020, this game focuses on a woman leaving home for the first time to explore the world before an upcoming calamity. You'll be meeting various people, documenting the world, all while traveling by bike. The art direction of this game is stunning. I'm sure this one will be one of those games that leave quite an impression, and I'm curious to know how everything will come to a close. Season: A Letter to the Future is out on January 31st. First big release of February is Hogwarts Legacy. The game looks like a perfect dream for Harry Potter fans. Visually, it looks impressive as it seeks to recreate and expand on the Harry Potter world. The combat doesn't impress me, but just the thought of running around these environments seems like it would be a good time. Here's hoping it comes out and lives up to the expectations of the fans, as they deserve a true Harry Potter experience by now. Hogwarts Legacy is out February 10th, with the Switch and last-gen consoles coming along later in the year. Blanc is a cute and visually appealing indie title focused on the journey of a deer and a wolf cub as they have to work together to find their families. I love the look of this game. The black and white color palette makes the game look like a sketchbook come to life, and the two main characters are adorably expressive in all their animations. I think this one will be a tearjerker by the time you reach the ending. Blanc is out on the perfect day for co-op, February 14th. The music from the Final Fantasy series is iconic. This series honors that in the absolute best way. Build a party of your favorites from the franchise and battle iconic monsters to the beat of all your favorite tracks. You'll have a massive 385 tracks to play through, with much more coming through DLC. I absolutely love this series and I can't wait to play all of the new tracks. Theatrhythm Final Bar Line is out February 16th. Wild Hearts is a new hunting game coming from Koei Tecmo. It reminds me of their last attempt in the hunting genre, Tokiden, but with a twist. You use a lost technology to help aid you take down massive beasts, all within a setting that seems to resemble a feudal-era Japan. It looks impressive and may be a good alternative to live alongside Capcom's Monster Hunter series. Wild Hearts is scheduled to be out February 17th. I've been a long-time fan of Ryuga Gotoku's Yakuza Like a Dragon series, so I can't begin to tell you how happy I was to hear about this announcement. For those that don't know, Ishin is the sequel to the samurai-era spin-offs of the series that have been stuck in Japan for years. So to know that we overseas fans finally get a chance to experience this game, and in an updated remake form from the ground up, this is a Yakuza fan's dream come true. If you know the series, expect tons of crazy action, an abundance of zany side content, and an extremely engaging story. One of my absolute must-haves this year is releasing on February 21st. The original Octopath Traveler was one of my favorite JRPGs of recent years. The game captivated me with its visuals and music, and the combat was so satisfying. It finally getting a sequel is a reality I didn't think would happen, so I am ecstatic for this one to come out. I'm so excited to meet the new cast of characters and see how their stories unfold, and explore all of the new gameplay mechanics this installment will have to offer. Octopath Traveler 2 is out on February 24th. Kicking off March, we have Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, a Souls-like game by Team Ninja, the same people behind the Nioh games. It looks insanely cool, fast, and fluid. I tried it out back when the demo was available and loved what I played despite dying a lot. The character creator was also one of the best I've seen. Hopefully this can scratch that Souls-like itch for people when it releases on March 3rd. Okay, so before making this video, I had no clue this game even existed. It looks adorable, and the story seems really interesting. Working with two characters that specialize in two methods of combat, you must eventually take down the legendary Momotaro. I love the twist of being on the Oni side in such a well-known tale. It's definitely something on my radar this year. Oni: Road to be the Mightiest Oni is out on March 9th. Seeing Fatal Frame start to make a return with these recent remasters is really nice to see, despite me avoiding it for pretty much its entirety of its existence. And it's not hard to see why. The premise of these games is to use a combat to battle ghosts and solve whatever mystery you've been thrust into. I'm not the biggest horror game fan, but I have started to find an appreciation for them over the years, so I got some interest in maybe trying this one out. Maybe. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is also out on March 9th. Just announced back in December at the Game Awards, we have a prequel to the Bayonetta series. You'll play as young Cereza and her demon Cheshire as you navigate a forbidden forest to save her mother. The game's fairy tale art style looks fantastic, and the gameplay is a big departure from the usual. I'm really surprised to see this being announced and released in such a short period. It's really refreshing. Bayonetta Origins: Cereza and the Lost Demon is out on March 17th. This is a big one for me. I am extremely excited for this one. I'm kind of a spotty Resident Evil fan as I've mostly played the later games. Resident Evil 4 was my first Resi game, so it has a special place in my heart. After streaming Resident Evil 2 Remake for the first time a while back, I fell in love with it, so I can't wait to see what the team has planned for this one. I'm ready to be tormented all over again. Resident Evil 4 Remake releases March 24th. And fun fact, so does John Wick Chapter 4. It's gonna be a great day. Here's another game I hadn't heard of until now. It's a new puzzle adventure visual novel. Looking into this, I'm extremely interested. The story centers around a team of ace detectives as they all work together to solve and capture a serial killer who might actually be among them. I'm a big fan of murder mystery visual novels, some of my favorites being the Zero Escape series, AI Somnium games, and of course Danganronpa. So this is right up my alley. The art style looks great and well animated, as well as having voice acting. This, along with the Danganronpa team's Master Detectives Archives Raincoat, will definitely fill my quota for these types of games this year. Process of Elimination releases April 11th. I never really had a fond attachment to Mega Man, but I clearly remember watching the anime related to these games as a kid. My little brother also had these games and I would play them occasionally. They were really cool, and even though I didn't know much about anything that was happening, I remember having fun. So this may not be an immediate pickup for me, but just having the option to experience them in modern day is really cool. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is out on April 14th. This is a cool one. A rhythm-based fighting game. It's actually just that. You gotta master the beat to beat your opponent. It's got a dozen playable fighters, specials to utilize, and around 40 tracks to learn. And visually, it looks like a blast. I love seeing really creative ideas like this come to light. God of Rock releases April 18th. As of now, May is looking pretty empty, and probably for good reason because Tears of the Kingdom will be taking over. The sequel to the wonderful Breath of the Wild is upon us. I can't wait to see what they improve in this game. We've seen gameplay of new sky-based areas and some mechanics centered around water manipulation. I know this game will blow everyone away and I am ready. Tears of the Kingdom is scheduled for release May 12th. Starting off June, we have Street Fighter 6. I'm not a Street Fighter fan myself, but this game has been keeping my attention this time around with all of the World Tour single-player content. It just looks like goofy fun. I played the beta and got my butt handed to me, no surprise, but I'm still tempted to give this one a shot. Street Fighter VI graces us with all its flashiness on June 2nd. Last but certainly not least, we have the newest mainline Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy XVI. I cannot begin to express how excited I am for this one. Initially, I had my reserves, especially coming off of Final Fantasy XV, but with each new trailer, they have been impressing me more and more with the potential of the story, world, and its characters. And knowing that the combat director is someone who worked on Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma, two of my favorite series, is just the cherry on top. It looks like they have everything I love covered, and I just really hope this game delivers because it looks amazing. It's going to be a tough wait for this one. They said we should be getting a demo before release, so hopefully that can hold us over until its release on June 22nd. So there's my quick look at a few games that I have my eyes on this year that have actual dates. Can you believe how stacked just the first 6 months are? I definitely have a feeling some of these will be pushed back to later dates. And there's still a ton of games expected to launch this year that don't even have dates yet. Games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Armored Core 6, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Exoprimal, Pikmin 4, Hollow Knight Silksong, Like a Dragon: The Man Who Erased His Name, and Crash Team Rumble. Overall, 2023 is going to be an insane year for gaming. It feels great to have so much to choose from. I hope this video got you excited for some upcoming games, whether it be for games you already planned on buying, or maybe I helped shine some light on things you didn't know were right around the corner. I don't blame you, it's a lot to keep up with. Feel free to share what you're looking forward to in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to show some love to the channel. Hope you all have a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in another video.